I have so much that I want to show y'all and so little time. Well, I have the rest of the week. So we have all week. I wanted to use this palette again, but we wanted to use these burgundies, and maybe this color speaks to me. This palette right here, it surprised me. Clean canvas. Oh, it feels so good to be here in my chair, in my makeup room, just hanging out with y'all again. You hear that? That's Ben whistling, but Gina's also snoring. I'm thinking we might do a little spotlight moment, but let's start with this shade. And we are gonna grab it on the side of the brush, but we're more gonna grab it on the tip of the side. See that? So if I was going to kind of just lay this down really quickly throughout my entire crease, I would have covered more of the brush. I would have probably covered to where the bristles lighten, but what I wanna do is I wanna start packing this into the socket. So I'm just going to, if you can't shut one eye like I can, just kind of look down, and that product is facing the ceiling and we're gonna have more control. Apparently every door in this house was open. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up more of the product. Same place, and I'm going to tilt my head back. Tilting my head back, and I'm just going to continue to press it over this way. And remember, it's just on that one side. I am really enjoying this palette. I'm really impressed with it. Plus the pans are quite large. It's a win-win. Same thing over here. I always like to start in the center. He's whistling again. Feels so good to be home, y'all. I love what I do, and it's so special that I get to travel and do the things that I get to do, but I want to be at home. I love being home in my cozy sweater. I love it. So now let's just wipe this on Sheila. Sheila actually got a bath while I was gone, and if you're new here and you're going, Rose, that thing is filthy, what the heck? I have had Sheila, and it's just a towel. It's not a microfiber towel, but I've had Sheila for 5 years, and she's stained. She is incredibly stained. She has seen 5 Halloweens. Well, I should just say Halloween seasons, because I'll do so many multiple looks, and that kind of makeup is just, it stains. She's a mess. She's clean right now, but she just, there was this year's Halloween right there, but it's just, there's no way to get those stains out. So now I just wiped the brush off, and we're just going to use the side just to smooth this top part. And when I say top part, I mean that top of the eyeshadow. We're not going to worry about anything under here for right now. We are not there. What we are going to do is just lightly smooth. There's another shade in here we can use to transition it, but let's see where this takes us. Ooh, that's already so nice and smooth, isn't it? It's pretty. Same thing over here. And we're just kind of continuing to set that top part, because this brush and pressing like that just kind of continues to mosey this shadow towards the brow bone, and it's starting to make sure that it's nice and set, and that way it doesn't crease. So since we missed Feral Monday, can I just be a touch feral today? I want to grab something that isn't in this palette because I know it's just going to be dreamy. We're still going to come back. We're not done. We need these shimmers here. But let me grab something. We'll call it Semi-Feral Tuesday. But it'll all go back to normal next week. Next week will be all normal. Usually on Tuesdays I do a more mild look because Monday is so feral. But everything will be back to normal. And I apologize for any inconvenience. So normally, red pigments, they are sometimes not eye safe, but this is an eye to cheek. So this is eye safe, which is wild. I love it. And look at how beautiful that red is. Valentino Beauty, eye to cheek. I'm gonna take that. And we're transitioning a little bit more with this. And you can see that this color under here is still gonna be darker. So it's still gonna give us a really nice transition, but these are so smooth. It's one of the smoothest formulas I've ever seen, and that's why it works well as an eyeshadow and a blush. I love it. It's so much fun. And then even later, we'll kind of lightly connect this here. It's gonna be a dream. a dream. But right now, let's just smooth out the top part a little bit more. And then to continue smoothing, I'll show you because we're about to run out of time on this slide. Really quickly, I do want to mention that we do have our bundles. Some of you have actually asked and haven't noticed. I get that. We get busy. We don't have time to watch the tutorials. But if you do happen to grab a bundle, they make great last minute gifts. And I mention that because each one is individually packaged. Even the puffs, they come in a set of 2. So everything is in an individual box. So you could grab a bundle and then just piece it out to your friends and family. That is pretty spicy and easy. So I just wanted to mention that. But we do have all of the bundles fully stocked and ready to go. Okay, now back to the look. Let's grab that shade on our brush and we'll finish smoothing this. We're kind of setting the brow bone, take it over this way, blur everything together, and then finish going over this way to blur all of that together. And we're almost to the spotlight part. Ooh, that's pretty. Now let's grab our C31 again. It should still have enough base on it. We just need it to be tacky for when we add the shimmer, which we're about to do. We're already to the fun part. Goodness gracious, Jean. You act like you've seen as many time zones as I have this week. Oh my gosh. Now we're gonna grab this shade, and I'm gonna grab quite a bit of it. Ooh. Let's take it here. I'm just pressing it in, and this is not a cut crease, so don't worry about, oh my goodness, that's gorgeous. Don't worry about if it gets into your mat. We don't mind a little bit of blend there. Grabbing the same amount, and that goes over this way. That's a nice shimmer. And I thought we'd just use one brush for this entire look. That way, we'll at least keep that more simple today. I am really pressing it in and pulling. That helps really bring that shimmer out. You know, one of the things that makes the brushes super special is that all you have to do is just wipe the brush off because they don't absorb product like most bristles. So you can just switch back and forth to so many different colors. We could have even used black with this, wiped it off, minus the jean hair, wiped it, and then went in with a lighter color shadow. That's really and truly the main thing I wanted with the brushes. Ooh, that's gorgeous. So let's now grab this shade and, ooh, really quickly, just a dab more of this in the center. And then let's press that. Wow, this is gonna be so pretty once we get it all together. Oh, I love that. I'm grabbing more of the copper shade. Just making sure that touches. There we go. And don't worry about and again, I'm just gonna use the same brush. We're gonna grab this on the very tip of the brush. And from here, I'm just gonna press it into the lash line. And that'll be enough. I am gonna layer this on a little bit more. Perfect. And then I'll just look down and look to the side, and I'm able to reach in here. Even though this brush is a little fluffy. Easy peasy. Let's go ahead and see if we can add just a little bit of lift to the eye. Again, on the very tip of the brush. And let's just stamp it here. I'm not really going for a wing, just more of a shape, a lifted shape. That's perfect. Let me do the same thing over here. Because remember, we're still going to clean all this up. Just make sure your eyes are really relaxed. And as much as we might want to tug on them, don't tug on them. Because then once we release, we might not have the shape that we were hoping for. There we go. So now to just kind of clean this up, you're gonna see it start to come to life. Of course, we have to clean up through here too, but this will kind of help you stay on track and not go, this looks like a hot mess, I wanna wash it off. Take micellar water, make sure it's the pink cap. I recommend the pink cap because I know it works well with makeup because it dries down and doesn't leave any kind of film. I mean, look at that already. And then where I'm starting from is I'm starting from right where my eye starts to separate here. And then we'll just clean that up. Look at that. We didn't even need to do a wing, and we still have a nice lift to the eye. To this day, I still get DMs and comments about people saying, oh my goodness, your partner's snoring in the background. Y'all, that's my cat. That is my juicy orange Gene boy. It's not a person, it's not a dog, it's a cat. Let me go green screen you a picture. Here you go. Here's my Gene bean, green bean. He just looks like he snores. And he also looks like he has a lot of secrets hidden in those extra large cheeks. His eye here, he was absolutely feral before me, so we're not sure what happened to him. He was all beat up when he came. Now he's perfect, he's wonderful, he's happy. But that snoring that's even going on right now, that's this. It's not a bulldog. It's not a husband. It's, who's guarding you? He's so sweet too. You can do whatever you want to him. Put clothes on him, take him in the car, go for a ride on the golf cart. He doesn't care. He'll do it all. He thinks he's a dog. But anyways, yes. It's not my partner. It's my Gene Bean. Gosh, he's precious. So I have this vision, and it's going to be hard for me to explain the vision, but first we're going to make sure this is really, really, really clean under here. So I'm using a pot concealer, and it's just going to make this line really, really pop. And I'm using a pot concealer here because pot concealers are more dry, so you have a lot more control. Goodness gracious. But you have a lot more control than, say, using a very creamy concealer. And I know that it's going to stay here. And I want this a little bit lighter under here too than even my natural skin tone. And you'll see why later. C30 for that precision. So let's pop on our lash. This is Moonlight from Raquel Beauty. I love these, and as soon as I'm done here, I'm actually gonna hop off, wash my face, and then I'm gonna do part 1 of makeup I would want to add to my wish list. I have always wanted to try this. I'm so excited. I'm just gonna go in because I'm not sure of the texture. I really have to touch it to kind of see what's going on. This is my first time using it. You're kind of getting a first impression. It's labeled, so that's why I haven't mentioned the name of it. Let's see what happens here. Ooh. Okay, I like the way that it feels. That looks nice to that. This is actually a foundation balm. Okay, I like the way it feels, but I'm gonna scoop it out now. That way I can just have it on the back of my hand. You know, I want y'all to know that all of this, of course, is my personal makeup. So if I wanted to go right back in here with my hand, I could after I touch my face. But I do have some professionals that do watch me, so I try my best to kind of make sure what I'm showing is more accurate to what you would do if you were doing clients. So if you do ever see me slip up and maybe go back in and do this, remember, this is all of my personal makeup, but I do try to think of those little things because I want to try my best to set a good example. So that's why I grab my spatula. But one thing I will say that you are always going to see me have is a clean brush. I like my brushes clean, and not even because, oh, dirty brush, ew. It's more because, again, personal. It's all at home. It's personal use. But the difference is that a clean brush performs. It just performs every single time. You won't have a day where it's like, my foundation doesn't look good, because you have a clean brush. Makes such a difference. Speaking of clean brushes, all of my C41s at the moment are dirty, so I had to grab a prototype that is clean. Who remembers the prototypes? 2 years. Ooh, that's pretty. Isn't that pretty? Let's put a little bit on my ear. Nice. I want to do this side so y'all can really see it all come to life. Smooth it out. It's beautiful. I would say that this needs a little bit, and I have it. I have a little bit of my skin prep, my skincare underneath. You would need a little bit of skin prep with this, but I think it'd even be great for oily skin types. We might need to compare it Ooh, that's not a bad idea. We'll compare it to the other Kevyn Aucoin foundation that I love. This is pretty. I'm excited. Let's see if we can just build it up a little bit here. I feel like this would be so good for oily skin because it's mattifying when I put it on, but as you can see, there's still that glow, but then it somehow feels like I put on a matte primer with it, but it doesn't feel drying at all. I'm kind of impressed. I'm excited to compare the two because I feel like there's something for everyone. I'm excited. I'm going to use my MAC concealer. And I think I'm just going to apply, should I do it? Yeah, I'm going to do it through the center, just a little bit here. Because I'm really liking the way that texture looks, but I still want a little bit more coverage there. This is going to be a touch brightening. And I need a C31. That looks nice. I figured I would just leave this running. And now we don't have to worry about cleaning up under there because that's already cleaned up. And then with the smaller brush, we can go around the brows. You know what I was just thinking? I was thinking I was going to film a TikTok. And when I say TikTok, I post here to IG too. I just film in TikTok. I was going to film a video on what to add to your list if you wanted makeup on your list. But I think I'll film it for stories because I'd want to go more in depth with each product. So I think I might just start it tomorrow and then just do it tomorrow and the next day. I'll do one that's affordable drugstore makeup and then I'll do one that's high-end spicy price. I think that might be better. That way we can kind of go in depth and you can actually see it, because in a 1-minute video you won't get to see it the same way. I think that'll be better. I want to go a little bit heavier with my bronze today. And I want to remind y'all that we can sculpt with bronzer, but we'll call it sculpting with bronzer and then contouring with the cooler tone. So you can still sculpt. You still get shape, and I talk about that a lot. But I also talk about, I would really and truly wish brands would just call things sculpting instead of contouring. A really good example is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. It is very, very warm, and it should have just been called a sculpting wand because sculpting and contouring are two different things. Just remember, contour is normally cool and sculpting is warm. I have lots of videos on it, but I just try to remind y'all. So I'm using this cream bronzer today because I want to see how it pulls that foundation underneath. So we're kind of putting it to the test. Also, this stuff is wildly pigmented in the best way possible, but I wanted to be extra bronzy. It seems to be working nicely because I wanted to see, because the balm here is very, very matte. And sometimes very, very matte products, they tend to lift when you start to blend. But I do want you to notice that I'm pressing. See how I'm just kind of pressing and ever so lightly pulling? I'm kind of just going, I'm trying to be dramatic so you can really see it. And then under here. See, we're nice and sculpted, but this is still bronzing. And then I lightly sculpt my nose. I feel like y'all always ask me if I contour my nose. I really just want it to look like the sun has naturally hit it. I don't, even this line down here, that's gonna be a little bit too much for me, especially in person. So I'm gonna take the foundation brush and just kind of go around it. But you can see that it is bronze. There is shape there and it matches the rest of my face. I'm actually gonna take this and just kind of go around the edges of the bronzer, just to make sure that it's nice and blended, because remember, we have no powder on. Now, the blush we're going to be using is that powder blush that we already showed you, so we can go ahead and set. And I'm going to use my Sephora collection powder because I'm not really vibing with a pink powder today. This is going to go in my holiday wish list for the more affordable side because it's my favorite affordable powder. It's $15. It was even more affordable during their little holiday situation they were having. They were having a holiday sale. I'm not sure that's still going on, but I believe by itself it's $15. And I know that there are powders that are even more affordable, but this one just outperforms those. So I feel like it would be best to just invest a few extra dollars, because I believe something like Maybelline would probably be around $10 still. So this one, I'm telling you, this one is fantastic for the price. I'm gonna go ahead and set the center. So satisfying. I made the puff extra pointy because I feel like we're always just needing precision. And I really wanted something that would go around my brows, because I always do my brows first. And then I'll just set the rest. So I'm actually gonna do the blush last because it's gonna be so impactful, but let's finish up the eye. I'm gonna grab the same E28 and we'll just grab the shade on the tip of the brush and press it underneath here. It's a really pretty color on brown eyes. I look for any excuse to use this gold liner here from Stila. If you're wanting a gold liner, this is a spicy price, yes. It's the best. It is just the best. I mean, look at this. It's wild. So I'm gonna bring it out just a little bit. And then, let me see if I can find a more burgundy one. Same formula, but now we're gonna use the shade Samba. These are so wonderful. So pretty. So I forgot, I got too excited because we were doing the first impression on the balm, but I'll just take powder foundation with the C31 and just tap it in here to kind of clean this up. It'll work like a charm. Any powder foundation, just make sure it's your skin tone. Satisfying. So don't worry, I haven't forgot about the blush, and it's really gonna bring this together, but I wanna do something a little more fun. So we're gonna do a red lip, but then I'm gonna clean up the inside edges and just add this gloss from Shiseido. I want to see what it looks like. So this is their Shimmer Gel Gloss in shade 07. And I'm hoping it's, yep, I was hoping it was sheer, so you could still kind of see my skin. And then you'll just see that intense lip liner. So fun. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's grab this. We're gonna do a little bit of draping, and since this is gonna be lighter, it's kind of gonna melt into here, and it'll be like a line, but then melted. Picking up more C41. This is the same C41 that we used for the foundation balm. Look at this difference. And draping doesn't mean that this needs to be super, super bright, but you see that this side, aside from my lash now being pulled, hang on, let me push that lash back up. Now that side just looks really nice and connected, and even a little bit brighter, a little bit more lifted. Draping isn't scary. I feel like when we think of draping, we think of the 80s, which I love. I love that. But it's not for everyone, and I get that. Now see how clean this is under here now? That looks so pretty, but then it has that transition to the pink, but we still have that nice lift, and it's not a just complete rounded smoky eye. I love it. And because we have to add glitter, we just have to. Let's use this Mara Cosmetics, so affordable. The shade I'm gonna use is 01. It's called Sugar Bomb. Yes. And let's just go ahead and do that through here just for some added sparkle. Fun. Oh, by the way, I'm going to take it under here as well. And I picked this one because it's a little bit more copper. I like the copper and the gold together, but I thought a copper inner corner would be fun. I feel like this eye would be so pretty, even if you just want to leave out the kind of blushy draping situation. So pretty. It was so easy, so festive. I'm looking for the palette. It ran away. There it is. I'm really enjoying this palette. I think it's fantastic. A few of you said it came in, please, I'm probably misspeaking, but was it your BoxyCharm that it came in? One of you got it in one of the subscription boxes. I say one. A few of you got it in the subscription box, and y'all are loving it too. So I love when we love the same things. That is going to be it here on the story today. There's still a few things that I want to film and things I need to catch up on. There's so much. But you know what? I love this. So I would never, ever go, ugh, I have so much to do. I think, I have so much to do. I love y'all so much. I am back. I'm not going anywhere, especially not till the beginning of next year. I have nothing else planned. So I will be here and I am with you. I love you so much. Tomorrow we're going to do, maybe we'll do the, I don't know if we're going to do affordable or spicy tomorrow because I'm going to gather up some things. We'll see. But we are going to do both. We'll do both. And I love you so much. And I missed you so much. I'll see you in the comments tonight.